Hoi, welcome back to Yaki's channel, and today to my first ever Q&A. I'm so excited for this. I hope I will get every question in it. I have no idea how long it takes, but we will get through every question. And yeah, let's start with the first one. So the first question is from Gotchi Max, and he asks, many people on YouTube show that it's possible to get the perfect body in weeks. So is that possible? So I would argue that a lot of YouTubers or people on YouTube are pretty muscular to begin with, but they have a layer of fat over it, so they only have to shred it down, and then they usually do a diet of maybe 3, 4, 5 months, and then it looks like that they've transformed their body over that period of time, but they are probably training since years, and they only had to cut down the fat, and then it looks like that they did a crazy transformation, which isn't easy, but in that short period of time it isn't possible to build a basis of muscles and then to shred down. So I would say for most of the people it isn't possible, firstly because they haven't the best genetics. So if you start, let's say you start skinny and then to build muscle, it really takes years. Probably in the first year you build the most, but then it really starts to slow down the whole progress, and so you can say it takes years, if not decades, to really build a really good body. But let's say if you want to get in shape, you can get really quick results, I would say. So the second question is from 33M_YY, I think that means Emmy. And she asks, am I only eating the white part of the speck? So speck is a typical dish of Saftarol, so it's a typical product. It's basically smoked or pickled pork belly. And yeah, what a question. Of course I eat the white part of the speck. So third question is from an anonymous person, and that person asks, what are my thoughts on a low carb or keto diet? So keto diet I never tried, but a low carb I did in the past, and basically I think I'm more of a carbs person. I really like things like pasta, rice and stuff like that. So for me it's pretty hard to cut those things out of my diet. So it's easier for me if I cut down fat, or what I typically do is I cut down carbs and fats a little bit, so that I'm still energized, but I also have like probably a higher sex drive or things like that, or hormones that fat is responsible for. And what I don't like about low carb, and I probably don't like about keto, is, like I said, you cut out carbs, and therefore you cut out things like vegetables, fruits, and plant-based foods, and so therefore you have to eat a lot of animal products. And I think the best diet is if you keep the animal products as low as possible. So I would always go either with a fat reduced diet, or like I said before, with a carb and fat reduced diet, but both in a moderate way. So the fourth question is from Laura Langruber, and she asks, what's my favorite color and what's my favorite dish? So my favorite color was always blue, so like the light blue I really like, and my favorite dish was always lasagna, but now it's probably kebab or Asian rice dishes like nasi goreng, for example. I really enjoy it. Basically the Thai kitchen or the Indonesian kitchen I really love. So then Anna asks, what's the most beautiful place you've ever been to? So the most beautiful place I've ever been to, that's a hard question, because I really loved Barcelona, Singapore and Melbourne. Those were the three cities I enjoyed the most, but also Greece was really cool, and probably Dubai is also on the top. But Barcelona had really something special because that was the last year of school, so in high school we went there, and yeah, that was pretty fun. But I think it depends a lot of the circumstances and the people you're with. But I would say Barcelona, Singapore probably, and then Melbourne. But also Bangkok was really great. So it's hard to say, but everything was pretty cool. So the next question is also about traveling. It's from Hannah_20, and she asks, what's the next destination you want to go when Corona will allow it? So probably, like I said before, Barcelona would be a really great place, but I would be grateful if I'm only able to go to the beach in Italy, like Rimini or Bibione, for example. The next question from Daniel Upgreaser is about training and fitness, and he asks, what's the worst part about working out for you? So I would say the worst part of working out is on those days where you don't want to work out, when you have this urge that you have to train and you must train. It sometimes it's a little complicated, but most of the time those workouts on those days are then the best, and then you're really happy that you did them. So I don't know, and maybe the injuries that you can get, and also if you don't train for months, or like I said, if you have an injury, and you will lose those muscles again. Sure, with the memory effect you will gain them pretty quickly again, but it's also depressing if you see the hard work that you put in fade away with time if you don't do anything. Probably that. The next question is from ExoMath, and he asks, we all begin habits and then lose them with time. How do you stay motivated even on lazy days? So motivation is definitely not enough to get in shape or to reach your fitness goals. I think motivation is pretty important to get started, to keep in flow and to build up momentum. But once motivation subsides, and it definitely will, it's pretty hard to depend only on motivation. So I think important is motivation, and then habit, discipline, and of course passion. So if you don't like the training, you probably won't do it over time. If you haven't the discipline, like I said before, you won't make the workouts on those hard days. And probably the most important things are habits. It's like if you do brush your teeth every day, you do it automatically. It's like, for me, it's like that with training. It's part of the day. After lunch or after I do a walk, it's normal that I work out. So I think habit is really up there if it comes to what's important to keep working out. Plus, I think you always have to have a goal inside or a why you're training. For example, if you only train because, I don't know, I want to get more girls, probably if that's a high enough reason. But if you train only because I would like to look a little bit better, I don't think you're probably doing it over years. You need a reason, like, man, if I don't lose this amount of weight, I will never be happy in my life, or like I will never be able to make friends or something like that, which helped me back in the days when I was in school. I think those reasons are really helping you to stick to your fitness goals. So one of the last questions is from Nick Oberfrank, and he asks, what's my name, how old am I, and where I'm from. So my name is Jakob Gardner, or Yaki, that's my nickname. I'm currently 22 years old, so I'm from 1998. And I'm from Lutach, Lutago, that's a small village in South Tyrol, and South Tyrol is a region in Italy. And let's get to the last two questions, and one is from They Call Me Flory, and he asks, what's my opinion about steroids? So steroids are basically drugs, and it's with every kind of drug it's easy to become addicted, and I think steroids are probably only for, I don't know, 5% of the people that work out important, because first they are in a competition sport. Even in sports like football, ski or cycling, they need to use drugs, because otherwise if only one of like 20 uses a drug, his advantage might be so much higher. It's not easy to say, but I think it's probably better if, like, let's say in football, if every one of the 20 footballers are taking drugs, it's also then dependent on who brings the best output on the field, for example. And I think it's the same with competition in like bodybuilding. So if everyone is taking steroids, why you shouldn't, for example. But that brings us back that only 1 or 5% of the people that work out probably should consider taking steroids, because they need to do it because they are in a competition, and second, I believe if you are using it correctly, it probably isn't as unhealthy as many think. For example, if you're 50, a lot of studies shows that it's probably better if you're taking TRT, so that's testosterone therapy, because as a man with age you lose testosterone, and testosterone is pretty important for keeping things like muscle. And then it's probably better if you take a tiny bit of testosterone if you're older than not. But in general, it can really f you up, if I can say that. It's a drug, and I would be really scared if I'm dependent on this drug and then this drug isn't available, and I feel like because I'm not able to get this drug, and yeah, because of that I would probably never take steroids. But like I said, it's up to you, what are your goals, and if you really have to take them, then do it, in my opinion. And the very last question is from Max Aboyas, and he asks, heavy and wrong or wrong and heavy? So that's a joke in the bodybuilding world, and it basically means when you work out, it's better to train wrong and heavy, or heavy and wrong. And I would say the best is to train light and wrong. So that was it with the questions. I hope I responded everyone. I have no idea how long that took me. And yeah, if you ask what I have here on the mouth, I have such dry lips that blood came overnight, and yeah, these are the winter struggles here in South Tyrol. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you watched the whole video. And like I said, if you have questions for future Q&As, you can basically DM me on Instagram or even on YouTube. No, YouTube it isn't possible, but you can comment under this video if you have more questions. And yeah, that's it. I think we will see us next Sunday. Thanks for watching, and like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Vielen Dank.